Let me ask you something, and I want you to really think about this for a moment. You're taking your blood pressure medication every single day. You set your alarm, you take that pill, you do everything right. And yet, something still feels off. Maybe you've noticed your ankles looking puffier than they used to. Maybe you wake up in the morning already tired, before the day has even started. Maybe you felt a little dizzy standing up from your chair, just for a second, and you grabbed the wall and hoped nobody saw. And what do most people tell you? That's just part of getting older. But here's what I need you to know, and this is exactly why I'm making this video today. Those feelings are not always aging. For millions of seniors over 60, those exact symptoms, the swelling, the exhaustion, the dizziness, the disrupted sleep, are directly connected to the blood pressure medications sitting in their medicine cabinet right now. I'm talking about 4 of the most commonly prescribed medications in the world: Amlodipine, Lisinopril, Hydrochlorothiazide, and Metoprolol. Chances are you or someone you love is taking at least one of them. These medications can absolutely save your life, but an aging body responds to them very differently than a younger one, and that difference is something most people are never told. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand your medication in a way that could genuinely change how you feel every single day. Here's something worth understanding right from the start. When your doctor prescribed one of these medications, they were focused on protecting your heart and lowering your numbers, and that decision was absolutely the right one. But what often gets skipped in that 10-minute appointment is this. After 60, your kidneys filter differently, your blood vessels respond differently, and your nervous system is far more sensitive than it was at 45. So the same pill that works beautifully in a younger body can quietly create challenges in yours. That's not a flaw in your medication. It's simply something you deserve to know. Before we go any further, I want to hear from you directly. Down in the comments below, tell me, which of these 4 medications are you currently taking? Is it Amlodipine, Lisinopril, Hydrochlorothiazide, Metoprolol, or maybe a combination of 2 or 3? And here's what I really want to know. Have you ever experienced unusual fatigue, swollen ankles, nighttime sleep problems, or dizziness when you stand up, and simply assumed it was just your age catching up with you? Drop it in the comments. You might be surprised how many people watching this today feel exactly the same way. Now let's talk about Metoprolol, and I want to start with a patient of mine. Harold, 67 years old, retired school principal. Sharp, active, loved his morning walks. About 4 months after starting Metoprolol, he came back to my office and said, "Doctor, I don't know what's wrong with me. I feel like I'm moving through mud. I'm tired by 10 in the morning. I can't sleep properly at night, and my hands are always cold." Harold wasn't imagining things, and he certainly wasn't just getting old. Here's what was actually happening inside his body. Metoprolol is a beta blocker, meaning it works by blocking adrenaline signals to your heart. It slows your heart rate down, reduces the force of each beat, and lowers your blood pressure as a result. For a heart under strain, that's genuinely protective. But for a body over 60, that same slowing effect reaches well beyond your heart. Your muscles receive less oxygen-rich blood during activity. Your body's natural temperature regulation becomes less efficient, which is why hands and feet feel perpetually cold. Your brain gets slightly less stimulation during sleep cycles, which is why so many seniors on Metoprolol report vivid dreams, restless nights, or waking up feeling completely unrefreshed. And that fatigue Harold described? That's real, measurable, and experienced by a significant number of seniors on this medication, especially in the first year. The good news? There are very practical ways to work with your doctor to manage all of this. And while fatigue and sleep disruption are something we can absolutely work around, the next medication I want to talk about introduces a completely different kind of hidden risk. One that most seniors never connect to their prescription. In fact, it may be silently affecting your balance every single night while you sleep. Stay with me. Now I want to tell you about Margaret. 71 years old, former nurse, so she knew her way around medications better than most. But even she came to me puzzled. "I've been getting these terrible leg cramps at night," she said. "My balance feels off, and last week I nearly missed a step coming down the stairs." Margaret was on hydrochlorothiazide, one of the most prescribed water pills in the world, and her body was quietly telling her something important. Here's what hydrochlorothiazide actually does. It works like a gentle drain on your kidneys, pulling excess fluid out of your bloodstream and lowering the pressure your heart has to push against. Brilliant in concept. But here's what that drain also pulls out: potassium, magnesium, and sodium. Minerals your muscles depend on to contract properly, your nerves need to fire accurately, and your legs rely on to keep you steady on your feet. In a younger body, those mineral levels bounce back quickly. After 60, that recovery is slower. And when potassium or magnesium drops even slightly below where it should be, you feel it as nighttime cramps, unexplained muscle weakness, and that subtle unsteadiness that makes you hesitate before stepping off a curb. Dehydration is another quiet concern, especially in summer because HCTZ keeps working even when your fluid intake drops. The reassuring part? These effects are very manageable once you know to look for them. Now, what we just covered affects your minerals and your muscles, but the next medication works through an entirely different pathway, one that runs directly through your kidneys, your airways, and surprisingly, even your appetite. And if you've had a nagging cough for months that no cold remedy seems to touch, what I'm about to share is going to make a lot of things suddenly make sense. Next is Lisinopril. And this one is fascinating because it works in a completely different way from everything we've discussed so far. Rather than slowing your heart or draining fluid, Lisinopril targets a hormonal chain reaction inside your body called the renin-angiotensin system. Think of it like releasing tension from a garden hose that's been squeezed too tight. Your blood vessels relax, pressure drops, and your heart gets a much-needed break. For most seniors, that's genuinely wonderful news. But here's where the aging body introduces some complications worth knowing. After 60, kidney function naturally becomes more delicate. And because lisinopril works directly through kidney pathways, any existing kidney sensitivity gets amplified. What this can look like in daily life is a persistent dry cough that seems to appear from nowhere, affecting nearly 1 in 5 seniors on this medication. Not an infection, not allergies, just your body's response to how ACE inhibitors interact with certain airway chemicals. Beyond the cough, some seniors experience a quiet drop in blood pressure that's most noticeable right after meals, leaving them feeling lightheaded or suddenly drained of energy during what should be a restful part of the day. Taste changes are also reported, which over time can quietly affect appetite and nutrition, something that matters enormously for maintaining strength and muscle mass after 60. The practical approach here is straightforward. Stay well hydrated, rise slowly after meals, and flag that cough to your doctor immediately. There are excellent alternatives if lisinopril isn't sitting well with your body. We're now at our final medication, and I saved this one for last because it's the one I hear about most in my clinic from seniors who are frustrated, confused, and convinced something serious is wrong. If you've ever looked down at your ankles by 4 o'clock in the afternoon and barely recognized them, this next section is specifically for you. And finally, Amlodipine. This is one of the most widely taken blood pressure medications among seniors worldwide, and understanding exactly how it works inside your body makes an enormous difference in how you interpret what you feel day to day. Amlodipine works by blocking calcium from entering the walls of your blood vessels. Calcium naturally causes those walls to tighten and contract, so by blocking it, amlodipine allows your vessels to relax and widen, reducing the pressure your heart works against. Elegant mechanism, genuinely effective. But in an aging body, those same relaxed, widened vessels can allow fluid to shift downward, pooling in the tissue around your ankles and lower legs. That swelling you've noticed by late afternoon? That's not a kidney problem. That's amlodipine doing exactly what it's designed to do, in a body where circulation is naturally slower than it once was. Beyond swelling, some seniors experience facial flushing, a feeling of warmth, or a subtle dizziness when moving from sitting to standing, particularly in warm weather or after a hot shower, when vessels are already dilated. The practical steps here are simple but genuinely effective. Elevating your legs for 20 minutes during the day encourages that pooled fluid to return upward. Staying active with gentle walking actually helps circulation more than resting does. Avoiding prolonged standing in heat makes a real difference. And if the swelling is persistent or uncomfortable, that conversation with your doctor is absolutely worth having. Dosage timing adjustments alone can sometimes significantly reduce this effect. And if you're taking 2 or more of these medications together, which is extremely common after 60, I want you to stay through to the bonus section at the end. Because what I share there about combining these medications in daily life is something most seniors never hear, and it could genuinely change how you feel starting tomorrow morning. Before we continue, if what you're learning right now is helping things finally make sense, I want to ask you one small favor. Hit that subscribe button below. Every week on this channel, I share practical, honest information specifically for adults over 60, because you deserve clear answers, not rushed appointments and vague reassurances. And if someone you care about is taking any of these medications, a spouse, a sibling, a close friend, please share this video with them right now. It takes 5 seconds, and it could genuinely make a difference in how they feel every single day. Now, before we close, I promised you something extra. And these practical tips apply regardless of which of these 4 medications you're taking. First, timing matters more than most people realize. Many seniors find that taking blood pressure medication in the evening, rather than the morning, significantly reduces daytime dizziness and fatigue. Ask your doctor if an evening dose makes sense for you specifically. Second, grapefruit. If you're on amlodipine, avoid it entirely. Grapefruit interferes with how your liver processes this medication and can cause levels in your blood to rise unexpectedly. Third, whenever you stand up from a chair or bed, pause for 3 full seconds before walking. That simple habit alone prevents a significant number of medication-related falls in seniors every year. And finally, bring a written list of every symptom you've noticed to your next appointment. Your doctor can only help with what you tell them. If this video helped you feel more informed and confident about your medication, please give it a like. It helps more seniors find this information when they need it most. Subscribe for a new video every week. And right now, go watch this one next. I think it'll help you just as much. You came into this video as someone taking a pill every day. You're leaving it as someone who truly understands what that pill is doing inside your body, and that knowledge is powerful. Stay curious, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one. Take good care.